everybody, this is Yael from Yael Alchemy, and I'm here to bring you the message of the Divine Feminine for her beloved for the week of April the 23rd to the 29th. So by now, if you're listening to this video, I suppose you've watched the message of the Divine Masculine and the Twin Flame weekly video. And I would like to reiterate, I do have a favor to ask from all of you. Because YouTube changed its algorithm, I would really appreciate if you find benefit in these videos, for you to please comment or like, really. But it's really the commenting, because that's what figures now in their new algorithm. So that this message needs to maybe reach somehow, because it's kind of a limitation on who the video gets shown to, but we will prevail, okay, with your help. That's why I'm asking this favor from you, that do comment, like, subscribe, share, so that we get to reach more people. We're getting ready for the next ascension wave. They're being prepared. So just think about it this way. If you took a lot of time to get to the level that you are, and I'm speaking about those divine feminines who have gone on to the next phase of their mystical learning, their twin flame ascension journey, then we're preparing the others to follow for the next wave, and the message needs to reach them. Okay, so anyway, as always, I've already prayed over the cards and shuffled them, and at the bottom of the deck, and this is the energy of the Divine Feminine, we have the Moon card, symbolizing the Divine Feminine on the one hand, and also talking about getting in touch with her intuition, okay, regarding, and sometimes this also appears as confusion, because when the Moon card appears, okay, not everything is illuminated, because it's just a reflection of the sun. And that's why for some divine feminines, this meeting, this coming together, because usually the Four of Wands, this signifies that reunion. That's why it's 1111 twin flames, 1111. So it's coming together in either weddings, engagements, proposals. It's coming together. It's a meeting not only of the minds, but also of the bodies. Okay? But there is some, it's still obscured for some of the divine feminines, and the wheel of fortune keeps turning. Okay? Because that spurs on, whether there's confusion, that spurs on some of the divine feminines to really use their own resourcefulness and creativity. See, this is the Five of Staffs, but the staffs are represented as fingers. So it's like they're doing an inventory. If they haven't come into union yet, they're doing an inventory of what else can be done, whatever resources can be tapped into and worked on. See, that's why we have the Eight of Pentacles here, because here in the hand you see each digit serves a purpose. Okay, and well, of course you can exist without a single digit, if you're, especially the pinky would be the least important one, but it all serves to come into balance. That's why you can grip tightly if you have all your 5 fingers working. And if you have carpal tunnel, before I had trigger thumb, and it's very difficult, you know. You'd think that, you know, even if your thumb was there, and my point being was that is that you need all 4 digits to come into balance. And that's why the Divine Feminine, using her resourcefulness and how to get all that going, keep doing the work to get to the sun. Okay, so this is what they're going through right now. Some aspects in their journey still obscured, especially those who haven't come into union yet. And oops, there, some work needs to be done still. Okay, let's get on with her message for her beloved. I'm going to open all the cards first. First we have the 5 of Swords. Then we have the Ace of Swords. Then we have the 3 of Swords. Lots of swords here. Then we have the 5 of Coins, or 5 Pentacles. Then we have the Queen of Swords. And then we have the Star card. And lastly, the 7 of Staffs. Okay, so what is the Divine Feminine telling her beloved? First of all, it's like she's pointing a mirror to him, that there's still much work to be done on his part. There's still things that have to be repaired. See here, there are 2 swords that are pointed downwards, and you can see they're chipped. But the other swords here, they're fine already. Okay, they're on display. And that's why the pointed end of the swords are pointing upwards, signifying positivity, higher vibrations, while these 2 swords, they can't be very much effective as a sword, because not only are they chipped, but they need to be repaired to get into their maximum, optimum capacity in living their life as a sword, I guess, you know. And that's why the swordsmith, this blacksmith, is in the process of repairing them. And that's what the Divine Feminine is telling her beloved, that hey, you need work on some areas still, because while an awakening has taken place for some divine masculines, but you see here, it's almost like 50-50, okay? Well, not even 50-50, it's like 60-40, okay? Because there are 2 swords pointed upwards, but there's still 60% that need to be repaired, reforged, in order to really help the divine masculines emerge. Okay, because here we have the Ace of Swords, and usually this would be the sword of truth, okay, that's being wielded by Archangel Michael. Okay, and here we see that a basilisk, usually this basilisk has the body of a serpent and the head of a chicken or a rooster. And in mythology, of course, the basilisk could turn people into stone. I don't know if you watch Harry Potter. It's pretty much like that. But it was heralded as a symbol of power because it is, you know, drastic transformation. And look, Divine Feminine is telling her beloved that this drastic transformation, you can see the basilisk, it's looking at the swords here, has to occur so that he gets to this this next phase, wherein he is living his own truth. And now, basically, Divine Feminine saying that that's not going to be an easy process, repairing all this. Because, you know, divine masculines, it's like the 5 stages of grief, okay, or I guess anger management, or any other addiction. First, you have to accept that there is a problem that needs to be fixed. Now, on that point alone, there will be much resistance from the divine masculines. Okay, because they have been programmed to really, by society, saying that either their way or the highway, or the way they've been doing it, because they're supposed to take the lead and all that. So a lot of them will not take to criticism, even constructive criticism, lightly. But this is the divine feminine really urging the higher self of the divine masculines to work on all these things, and telling him that it's not going to be easy. In fact, it's going to be heart-wrenching for some divine masculines. But like this card here, you can see that the heart is weeping. And there are 3 swords here. And however, that suffering, that sacrifice that the divine masculines will be going through once they acknowledge the things that need to come into balance and need to be repaired, that is necessary. That suffering is necessary because these tears, look, they nurture this rose. And this rose, it's growing through all these rocks. And it has no other way of getting the water that it needs for it to bloom other than through these tears. So basically, she's just telling him it's going to be hard. But he needs this, because look at this. This is the 5 of coins, and it's depicted by this beggar who is handicapped, okay? The left leg isn't connected to the ground, and the left leg, usually your left side, is your receiving side, okay? So for some divine masculines, there is really a gap there between their physical self and their higher selves, because look, there is still no connection. And I think this also has connection with the Twin Flame Weekly reading, wherein some divine masculines are really stuck and, fear that change that will bring them into union with their divine feminines. Okay? So here, this is saying that this gap needs to be bridged. Okay? And that's why he's handicapped. He needs this staff to help balance him. But look, on the other hand, Spirit is saying that this is the physical depiction of that. But these rules in physicality, they don't apply once he breaks through that barrier, okay, and starts this journey already. They don't apply anymore because he will be able to connect to the ground and above. You can see the star here, and that's what he's asking. He's asking for guidance, except that when the guidance, well, this is the thing. If he doesn't know he needs help, he can't ask for it. And that's why, look, the receiving side of him, it's still disconnected. So there, and the divine feminine is telling her beloved that with this card we have here the Queen of Swords, and she's depicted by this woman, and sort of half and half. Okay, it's like Victoria. It's an old movie, I think, by Dustin Hoffman, when he was half man, half woman, and all that. He was pretending to be a woman, I think. Anyway, it's an old movie. Yeah, there. Anyway, so this woman, and half of her, she has half of her wings are red, and she's holding an upright sword there, which indicates things that have ripened, that have come into fruition. It's not very much unlike this first card, okay? But here, the other half of her is still green, which signifies that things are still not ripe, and that's why the sword is pointed downwards. Okay, and time needs to happen for this Five of Swords to come into this. Okay, yeah, but they're saying that he's still not ready nonetheless, so it's just actually but here healing has been done already to a degree, and yet there has to be a certain polishing, a certain, you know how it's like student that you finish your coursework, but then there's either on-the-job training or a practicum, yeah, like that, a practicum, because here, that would be this card, wherein this would pertain to some of the divine masculines that know it conceptually, because this is a sword. Know it exists, know that he and the divine feminine belong together, regardless of his circumstances. But there are other things still that are not yet ripe. And here, that's why we have the Star card here. Because the Star card not only brings hope, but this woman here, she's a siren, and she's actually representing the tranquility. She's actually like a fountain of life, of youth itself. Okay, the red, the blood here coming out of her breast signifies the divine masculine, and the white here signifies the divine feminine. And you see, that's part of their coming into balance, because this is a very masculine energy here that, well, when they're still not working on it, that would be the very masculine energy, and not acknowledging that they still need assistance. Okay, and here, this is the tranquility that comes in knowing that this is still coming into play. Okay, and here we have the Seven of Staffs, and this is usually conflict. This is head-on conflict with you can see the two dogs here. They're really at each other's throats, and this is really when dogs are at each other's throats. They're what you call in the red zone already, because they're not thinking anymore. Everything becomes instinct. Okay, so unless you're a professional, you really don't try to break up a fight between two dogs that are already in the red zone, because it's a fight until somebody wins. Okay, so this is a fight to survive already. And the divine feminine is saying that, look, he's gonna have to go head to head with himself in order to survive this. And this is going to be necessary. It's going to be painful, but it is really needed. Because look at this. This would be the heartache that he feels. This would be him needing help. This would be him going through the process towards this. But what is needed? Look at the cards at the beginning and at the end of the spread. First, we have things that need repair. Then we have just trying to survive. But look, because we have the Star card, this is going to be the path of the divine masculines. And it is a birthing process. It is a struggle, okay, for his own survival here in 3D and the survival of his soul. And when I say that, it's, you know how other people are existing, but then they don't find much fulfillment in life because there's something missing. And asking why that's missing, what is it that's missing, why doesn't he feel complete, satisfied, fulfilled, accomplished, or even basically just happy with what he has? In order to answer those questions, okay, this needs to happen. He has to go head on with himself. And again, that's really all I can say, because the Divine Feminine is just telling him that you have to go through it. It's a fight for survival. Okay? So anyway, this also brings into focus the fact that there's still some divine masculines that need assistance. Okay? Anyway, that's what I have for you. And again, I hope this helped. Thanks everyone. Bye.